Hello, beautiful collective. This is Satya, back with another message, back with another video. We are going to be talking about today the full moon and lunar eclipse in Scorpio. I sort of mentioned this, I think I mentioned this back in April when it was closer to the solar eclipse in Aries, but there'll be a lot of planetary alignments that are going to bring with it lots of energy, some very powerful high energy, some that are a little bit more emotional, digging deep, hidden energy. But you can expect, especially over these next, I think, again, 30 months, we will be coming into lots of ups and downs. We'll have some solar eclipses and there'll be some lunar eclipses. And so this video is just to explain a little bit about this full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, to give some guidance, some advice, some education and knowledge, so that as we go through these different planetary alignments, as we go through these cycles of the moon, you have a level of resources, advice, guidance that will help sort of make this time a bit smoother, because this full moon and lunar eclipse in Scorpio is guaranteed to be on the emotional side. What I'm hoping to do is probably make a series of videos where I will discuss the full moon and lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Also discuss some resources, some crystals that you might be able to meditate with or incorporate into your spiritual bath, or just kind of wear throughout the day to provide a level of protection and shielding. I'll also be talking about some flowers and herbs that you might be able to use for yourself. And of course, I will be talking a little bit about some of the cards drawn from the Moon Oracle deck. And I will be doing a full moon reading as well. So without any further hesitation, we'll go ahead and get started. This full moon and lunar eclipse is going to happen in Scorpio. We know that the moon represents our deepest emotions, right? It represents our hidden fears, our perception, really how we express and process our emotions. Your moon sign will give you a hint towards how your emotions and how you process your emotions much more clear. So be sure to check out your birth chart and find where your moon is placed. That will give you an idea of how to kind of work through these moon cycles. But because this moon cycle is in Scorpio, you can expect an energy of transformation, transmutation. Scorpio asks us to dig deep, right? To investigate. The saying, right? The motto of Scorpio is I transform. So you can expect a lot of distillation of energy, emotions, and feelings. And Scorpio is really going to urge us to go deep, to dig down deep and investigate our emotions and our feelings and all of those hidden sentiments in order to transmute this energy and use it for our best and highest good. Scorpio is also a water sign, and the moon is a water is not coordinated, is connected to the water element as well. So there'll be a lot of intuitive energies, a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions, those things that we might really hide and keep down below those things are really going to surface. Because Scorpio is ruled by the planet Pluto, again, that's going to really bring an energy of self-exploration, a level of self-empowerment. Pluto is the god of the underworld. So again, that is speaking to that hidden, subconscious, deep, transformative energy. Pluto is going to ask us to do the shadow work, right? Pluto is going to ask us to dig down deep. Divine mining, right? Miners dig down deep into the earth and bring up precious jewels and things that are hidden. And so Pluto is the divine miner. It's going to ask us to dig down deep and do that shadow work. Bring up some of those hidden pains, those hidden emotions, feelings, sometimes trauma, and transmute and transform that energy so that we can be reborn, right here, so that we can be reborn. Pluto is the planet of rebirth. And so when we look at this in the lens of a lunar eclipse, right? This is going to be, especially during a full moon, this is going to be a harbinger of emotional times, of emotional feelings. And because there's a quadruple impact of a full moon, a lunar eclipse in Scorpio, and Scorpio being a water element, you can be well assured that lots of emotions are going to be coming up. This is going to be a very emotional time. Likely chaotic, likely turbulent. The emotions that come up are not always positive, happy, uplifting, right? Especially because Pluto and Scorpio asks us to dig deep. And usually shadow work and digging deep into our subconscious and that hidden place, those usually are more negative emotions, sad emotions, things that might be correlated with trauma. But it does absolutely have great potential to bring about deep, meaningful change that can totally and completely transform you. Of course, this is a full moon, so with the light of the full moon, many things will be illuminated. As you dig deep, as you go below into the underworld, and you bring back up these energies, the full moon will illuminate hidden things for you. So I am hoping that you'll be able to take advantage of this opportunity and embrace this transformation. During a lunar eclipse, patterns, hidden emotions, and other sentiments are very likely to come to the surface very fast. And so this is not only an opportunity to see those emotions rise or have those emotions rise, but also to reflect upon them, process them, and engage with them. And that is, the lesson of Pluto. That is what Pluto is asking us to do. And so as that is happening to us, some resources that you might be able to take advantage of are here on my table. We'll start with some of these crystals. So, of course, while I don't have all of the crystals that you could use, these are some I do have in my collection. And the first is Chrysocolla. Chrysocolla is a crystal of personal power. It's something you can use to kind of ease heartache, bring peace to your mind when you're, going through difficult times. I usually keep these in my pocket or a little coin purse, or sometimes I even keep it in my bra. But I can't ever say it right the first time. Chrysocolla is a crystal that you might be able to find at your local crystal shop, and it's very helpful easing emotional turbulence and just kind of easing that emotional heartache. Citrine is another crystal. I showed this on a previous video. This is a crystal of cheerfulness. It attracts abundance. It's sort of an anti-cranky crystal, but it really holds the ability for us to get past mental blocks. And I think definitely during this time of the lunar eclipse, as these emotions come up, there may be a tendency to kind of block those out, refuse to think, put up mental blocks. And so using citrine in your meditation as we come up to the full moon, as we go through the full moon, I think that would be helpful for some. Fluorite is a favorite crystal of mine. I don't know if you can see it as well as I can, but it's almost like opaque, and the purples and blues are just so beautiful. But fluorite is a stone of the mind. It aids in comprehension, decision making. It discourages chaos. I included this in this section because I think that this might be helpful, again, as these emotions come up, to discourage a level of chaos as we're dealing with all of these emotions, and to help us make decisions on what we can do with those emotions, so that it's not just a feeling of waves of intense emotions coming, but in an energy to understand what to then do with those emotions, how to transform that energy. Another stone that I thought would be helpful is howlite. Now, howlite, I think is naturally white, but sometimes it is dyed, and so you might see red, all the colors of the rainbow with that kind of gray or dark, it looks almost dark blue sometimes, but I think it's more gray, light black, kind of patterning in it. That is howlite. And howlite is a stone of purity. It calms stress, rage. It increases our ability to be tactful when we might otherwise feel out of control. And because nobody guessed my moon sign is Aries. And I can get really fiery, let me tell you. So I tend to keep howlite nearby very often. So howlite might be a good stone for you to have. Also, jasper. There are a number of types of jasper: yellow jasper, red jasper. I've even got some Dalmatian jasper here. Okay, Cruella de Vil, don't be jealous, right? But jasper is a great nurturing stone, brings tranquility, protection, wholeness. And so I would encourage anyone that is expecting to actually, do some intuitive work, to do some intentional shadow work, to grab some jasper and use this during that time. I also I don't have here, but black kyanite. I have it on a crystal grid. But black kyanite is a grounding, protective stone. It stimulates psychic awareness. It also is powerful if you are on a shamanic journey. It's very helpful along with obsidian to sort of help protect during times of stress or chaos. I was so lucky. I don't know who left this obsidian just kind of sitting outside, because it was in a place where it would not be found naturally. And I guess someone maybe had dug it up. I mean, I have no idea, but this was just sitting out in a park. And I was like, what is that? I walked over to it. I was like, this is freaking obsidian. So I've had this for a number of years now. I use this in my spiritual baths. If I'm feeling overwhelmed or anxiety, I'll just kind of hold it and rub it. But black obsidian would be a great stone to use during this time, as would black tourmaline. I actually have a necklace that has a piece of black tourmaline, and I wear that frequently. I mean, almost daily. It's a great protection stone. It's a great shielding stone. It especially if you're an empath or a healer, it's something that I would suggest you keep with you or on you at all times. I definitely find that when I don't have tourmaline on or with me, and I'm in large crowds or in chaotic kind of overstimulated areas, I instantly fall into my Aries sign. And so I think, again, black kyanite, obsidian, or black tourmaline would be really helpful. Of course, because this is going to be an emotional moon, tapping into the power of rose quartz would be helpful. Rose quartz brings comfort, forgiveness, nurturing, self-love. It really triggers an emotional release. It opens your heart chakra. So, all of those kind of, accumulated wounds that we all carry, those will be triggered and stimulated to release. And as opposed to kind of holding that energy in and really suffering, using rose quartz, whether it's a palm stone or a tower stone, I think that would be really, really helpful. Also, we've got selenite, the stone of light, mental clarity. This is a stone that I use specifically to kind of draw out, cleanse, and clear when I feel overwhelmed or when I feel kind of filled up. I do some meditation or clearing with selenite. Another really great stone I think would work is tiger eye. So I've got a beautiful chunk of tiger eye here. This is a great stone for clarity. It encourages optimism, enthusiasm, really a protective stone, a psychic protection stone. And so again, during this very emotional time, protecting, especially if you're very intuitive, if you have developed psychic, perceptive powers, this would be something good to keep with you, so you're not, just so that psychic energy isn't being heavily impacted by those emotions that come up. And then lastly is this serpentine. And this is, you can kind of, you can see it. This is a necklace I wear almost every day. It is like a nurturing, grounding. I'm sorry, this isn't serpentine, this is septarian. This is a nurturing, grounding, connect to your emotions type of stone. For me, this really works to help me stay calm, help me identify emotions that might be coming up. Sometimes everybody, but speaking to myself, I'll be walking around, I'll be living my life, I'll be doing whatever. And, all of a sudden start feeling a particular way, or these emotions will surface. And having that Septarian there is just a really beneficial way to connect with those emotions, really connect with my intuition, and stay grounded in a situation where I might otherwise pop off, pop off. So those are some examples of crystals that you might be able to use. Of course, if you have other crystals that work for you, definitely check those out. There's a number of other crystals as well that you could find as useful. One of the other things that I wanted to quickly talk about are some herbs, flowers that you might be able to use also to help you through this time. These are some herbs and flowers that will be helpful and that are associated with the moon. So we've got sage, whose keyword is blessing, right? Burning that sage. You can make sage tea. You can make little sachets and carry that around with you. But sage will be a easy to find herb that might help you through this time. Also, and I don't know where to find these two, but Pt.2, it's a herb of transformation, of metamorphosis, and Bobansana, an herb of trust. And so I really think that, this speaks to, right, trusting in those energies, trusting in those emotions and feelings that are coming up, and using those to transform, to change, to roll with the cycle, right? Not necessarily being afraid of these emotions that come up during this time, but knowing that what does surface is coming up to reveal itself for our best interest, so that we can transmute that energy and, metamorphosize like a caterpillar changing into a butterfly. Another herb or flower is chamomile. Chamomile is well known, easy to find, symbolic of inner peace, calming. You can find this at lots of Mexican markets. I have it already dried. If you know an organic flower shop or a person that grows flowers, you can grab yourself some chamomile. You can just have it, in a vase at your house. You can dry it out again and make tea, or, hang fresh flowers upside down and have the dried flowers themselves just present in your home. And mugwort. Mugwort is something that you can use for psychic healing. Now, I've worked with mugwort before, and I had some, I don't want to say visions, but dreams are visions. They're just visions while you're asleep. But they were really, really intense. Not scary, not negative at all, but a lot of unusual visions and dreams and images came up. I wrote them down in my my journal, and I still to this day don't know what they all mean. But using mugwort gave me a lot of downloads. And so if this is something that you're interested in, you could definitely find this if you go to an apothecary or a store that sells herbs. Mugwort is fairly easy to find if you look in the right places for it. Calling on the planet of Pluto as the ruler of Scorpio, Angel's Trumpet would be a flower that can be used. Now, angels, these flowers, herbs, and things that I'll speak about in relation to Pluto are transformative. They're meant to bring things up, right? And so a lot of these can be ingested, but some of them are psychedelic and will have that impact of a psychotropic or a psychedelic energy for you, which I do not advocate for and I do not advocate against, because I am not a medical professional and I am never going to suggest that anybody take anything or ingest anything that is not just your baseline level herbal tea type shit. So if these are things that you do take, you take them at your own risk, but do be aware that these are very, very powerful. And if you are not a professional, if you are not taking these with doctor supervision or professional supervision, these could have very negative impacts. So angel's trumpet is one. The key word there is death. And when you think about, angels blowing their trumpet, that is connected to the judgment card. And so this has the potential to reveal very deep, very spiritual meaning to the individuals who use it. Skullcap is a flower that is used by a lot of indigenous peoples to promote stillness in particular reproductive organs. So as girls become women and experience their first period, or after women give birth, skullcap is used to calm those muscle contractions, to ease off and stop bleeding. So this is definitely a flower or an herb that you can use to promote stillness, calm, and to slow things down for you. Kava Kava is another resource that you might be able to use. Its keyword is community. Kava Kava is often used in some tribal societies as a part of a ceremony. So, right, the group of particular individuals will come together, Kava Kava will be used, a ritual will be performed, and the individuals there will then, indulge and celebrate in their particular way. And I will repeat with these last two cards, psilocybin and ayahuasca. These are two very, very transformational and helpful botanicals, but also illegal in some places. And if you are not well versed in biology, in dosage, in herbology, these have the potential to be very harmful. If you do indulge in these botanicals, though, they do have a wonderful potential to create an environment where you can explore emotions, feelings, past events that may have been traumatic in a way that is transformational, healing, and healthy. What we know about the brain and psychedelics and psychotropic drugs is at the forefront now of microdosing. We know that at a particular dosage, psychedelics have the ability to allow people that have gone through severe trauma to process those emotions and process those thoughts and experiences in a way that allows them to release all those negative energies that are associated with it. But ayahuasca and psilocybin are two botanicals that can be used during a emotional time to transform and process, which again is the message of Scorpio, of Pluto, and of the moon. Well, I hope that this has given you some guidance, some assistance, some information about the resources that you can use to really take it, take advantage of this full moon and lunar eclipse in Scorpio. You can be reassured 10 times over that this is going to be a very emotional time. And if you take advantage of this time, if you are intentional about doing the shadow work, if you are purposefully digging deep and bringing those emotions up to the surface, I really do believe deep down inside of my butt that it's going to not only be healthy just to get those emotions out, but you'll have an opportunity really to move past some emotional blocks, to understand yourself better on a deeper level, and to bring a level of healing and a level of positive transformation to your life. And that is, my goal here on this channel, is to help individuals align themselves with who they truly are, who they're meant to be, provide resources, provide guidance, provide support, so that individuals can get on the path of their sacred journey, right? To align themselves with their divine purpose and to start making steps on their journey to their North Node. And so I hope that this video has done that for you. If you have any questions about anything that I ever talk about in my videos, you guys can leave a comment down below in the video. My email address is in the About page, and I'm always here if you need anything. But I thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel honored to be here and provide you with this information. I will be doing a breakdown of the moon oracle cards. The full moon, again, it's going to be a full water moon in Scorpio, and that is connected to the goddess Lilith and the musician palace, or the musician mansion. So I will be doing that in another video. And so for now, I wish you peace, love, and blessings. Talk to you later, collective. Have a great night.